Okay, good morning. Uh, as you know, in my videos, I'm being sued by the HOA for uh, putting a lighthouse on my lot without permission. I've made the statement that I bought the light. That's probably one of the first items I ever bought for this landscape. My yard was this lighthouse. You can see it off in a distance over here. That's basically where it was when the lawyer wrote it up. Now this video is 10 years old. I made this video 10 years ago, right after Woody Skelton presented his letter to the HOA, and right after Woody Skelton gave me permission in front of Ed Wooden-Kelly and Phil Marcotte that I could do whatever I wanted to do to get the water off my lot. Okay, this is a short video. I'm going to turn down the sound because we don't need it. But this is before I started excavation. This was before I started excavation with the tractor and removing dirt off my lot. And I want to show you, the purpose of this video was to show you the water infiltration I was getting under my, let's go through this. Let's see if I can walk us through this video, and I'll tell you what's going on. Okay, first of all, I hadn't put in any pipes from there where you see that retention basin. That's an undocumented, undisclosed, unplanned retention basin that was installed on my lot by the builder and the landscape people almost 19 years ago or 19 years ago. You see the way the water is clinging to the patio? That's because from the patio out, all the way out to the property line, it's uphill. Now, this is just a light rain. But the reason I'm making this video is to show you. There's the lighthouse. All right, it got moved. I put it on this patio over here. When I started excavating, I set it on this patio over here for about 5 years while I worked on the lot. I cleaned up the lot. I replaced irrigation lines. I sculptured the lot. I had to put crushed stone. I was moving rock. I worked on this property for probably 8 years straight. And I want to let the HOA know and all the people out there, the day that I got that $4,500 fine at Christmas in 2022, Christmas of 2022, when I got shocked, surprised, sucker punched, whatever you want to call it. You see how the water is clinging? Now out here, there's the lighthouse. It's sitting exactly the way it was when the lawyer walked onto my property and then wrote it up later. And that was about 2 years ago. But this video was shot 10 years ago, and it illustrates what I was burdened with as a homeowner here from the HOA, the golf course, and the permitting of Buckeye. This house right there was lowered intentionally by the builder, and that's the result. This house on the left is 3 inches higher, 2.5 inches, and it's 3 inches by now. But you see all that water that's migrated up? That causes termites. That's soaking under the house. This is a light rain. Okay, and you see how the water, can you imagine how much water my lot retains like a sponge in a deluge? This wasn't even a strong storm. It was like a light storm that rained all night, rained overnight, and look what we have. A permanent, forever and ever, 1,000-year retention basin installed on this lot as a substitute for the retention basin that was filled in at tract day and parcel 12. This makes me sick to look at it. It should make any homeowner sick to see this. This is before I started. Now, I sent you the video of me bringing in a tractor, putting in lines, grading the lot. This was all done, but this was 2014, 10 years ago. So for me to be getting, right now, we'll get out of this, and we'll get back to this, and I'll get back, and I'll show you, the lighthouse was described, as a 7-foot tall, made of cement. Here's the lighthouse. Okay, I want to show you. I made this this morning. I made this video this morning. This is where it sits now. It's back from the property line. For anybody to see this lighthouse now from the golf course, they have to walk down this property line. The golf cart path, it probably sits about 15 feet in elevation lower than these hedgerow. Nobody on the golf course. Now, the lawyer for the, I'll start this, all right. The lawyer told the judge in a hearing that the lighthouse really wasn't the reason. Now, the lawyer described that lighthouse as a 7-foot tall lighthouse made of cement. I bought this lighthouse in 2004. I think it was one of the first things. I closed the houses in October of 2004. I'm kicking, that thing I just kicked is what it sat on. Those two plates right there are two separate pieces of cement, and what I'm putting on now is I've had to replace the original solar light. Fell apart. It was really cheap. So I made my own solar light. I found this glass like beaker tube over at Goodwill. I bought another solar light, and it sits back now next to my patio. Nobody can see this. The only way they can see this, and I want to say that when I was talking to the judge and the lawyer was talking to the judge during our meeting last week, the lawyer, in very soft tone, I could hardly hear him, and he doesn't record well because he spoke so low, but he said in a very low voice, the lighthouse really isn't the reason for the lawsuit. The real reason for the lawsuit is the bunker, or he said a mound of gravel. But just want to let you know, let's start this. Did I start it yet and show you? All right. What I've got there, like I said, that's, we'll play it again. It weighs probably about no more than 2 or 3 pounds. It's made of foam. I bought it at the Walmart in Pebble Creek Parkway, up there around in Goodyear, because we didn't have a Walmart. If you wanted to go to Walmart 10 years ago, or at first in 2005 when I bought this, I'm a lighthouse person, okay? I love lighthouses. What's more apropos than having a lighthouse on the north side of a body of water? That was my only motivation, okay? And I'm done with the video. I'm going to send this to Caroline. I hope she sends it to the lawyer to let him know that that lighthouse, and I wasn't getting letters for it. I wasn't getting letters for it. Now, I'd worked for 5 or 6 years, correcting the property, fixing all the drainage, and now I don't even own that house. I spent 3 years fixing all the drainage, all the irrigation between the houses so lakes wouldn't form, so the water would run onto the golf course instead of sitting between the houses. And as soon as I got done, I sold that house. And within about a month of selling it and the new owner, I was informed because I put this, when I put it back, when I set this lighthouse back after all the work I did on the yard. I put it right on the property line. I straddled both property lines because I own both properties. So I put it right on the line. And I sold the house. I was made an offer. And the reason I sold the house is I started getting letters from the HOA. They started sending me letters again, and I said, I can't beat this. I'm never going to be able to ever have peace and quiet here. And to all the people out there in YouTube land who are thinking about buying an HOA, this is what they can do to you. That lighthouse was there for 10 years. I moved it back to the patio about 15, 20 feet from where it was. And then after I did all the work and before I sold the house, I put it on the property line. It didn't last long on the property line. So as far as the lawyer with a statement that I didn't take it down and I didn't pay the fine, I took it down immediately. Because about a month or two after the new person bought the house, even though the lighthouse was there when they bought the house, even though the lighthouse was there when they bought the house, when they moved in and they got it rented, the renter one day, I had a great relationship with her. I thought we were going to start out as best of neighbors. Guess what? It fell apart because she came out to me one day and says, there'll be a crew in here today to remove the lighthouse. Excuse me? Who's removing? Oh, we got a crew. The landlord has hired a crew to come in and get rid of the lighthouse and move it. He doesn't want it. Hey, excuse me. You call off your crew, and from then on, I haven't talked to her. I have nothing to do with her. Because she was kind of insolent when I was telling her, what gave you the right, what gives him the right to do this? This is my property, this is my lighthouse. All right, so immediately I took the light down, and that was about 2 months. Okay, it wasn't there more than a month or two after the house sold. And I said, I'll take it down. All right, I put it there, I'll take it down. You call off your crew. So I immediately took it down and I moved it back to this spot, and it's been there for about a year or more. And I want to let you know, I was on the way to completing this yard. If I would have been left alone, I was on the way to completing this yard. My neighbors, all the golf course people who played this golf course for the last 10 years, watched me. I started in spring of 2014. This was taken in early 2014 during a rainstorm in the winter. In the spring, like I said, Woody Scouten gave me permission to start excavating my property to make it drain. And I moved this lighthouse back to the patio, and I did it. But if you hadn't have sent me that $4,500 fine 2 years ago, this would be all done. I was getting ready to work I had spent about 6 years straight on the front yard and the backyard, sifting dirt. I probably spent over $1,000 in rock that I bought from West Valley Rock to replace all the rock I had to take up when I regraded the lot. Everything got wiped out when I regraded the lot. That $3,000 I spent per lot in the back, and getting back to the lawyer. The lawyer said to the judge, he goes, there's no wall or fence to disguise this. There's no wall or fence. Anybody can see this. He made it sound like I was living on Main Street, America, that I had a sidewalk in my house next to those plants right there that was constantly my lot was on the Main Street of America, and everybody could see this lighthouse. The only people that see that lighthouse or saw that lighthouse were people who hit their ball in the dead area up here between the cart path, and when they had to come up and look for their ball in my yard or somebody else's yard, or walk along the hedgerow, that's when they saw the lighthouse. If they stayed down, if they hit their ball on the fairway in number 6, and they left their golf cart on the fairway in number 6, and they played it from there, they never saw the lighthouse. And they can't see this one. All right? But everything stopped. I had like 5 or 6 years of every summer working out here. I had somebody I was working with that was helping me. I did so much work, it's all in the videos. It's all in the videos. Anybody out there that is curious about how much work I did over 6 years, start watching my videos. I documented everything. That's the way the big boys play it. All right? And to all you YouTube people out there, if you put a favorable comment or you digest and you sit through all my videos, this isn't fun. I didn't expect at 75 years old that I was going to have to defend myself against some 30-something Mormon lawyer who's launched by his legal team. All right? Please, anybody out there, if you're thinking about living in an HOA, don't do it. If you're single, you have no grounds with the HOA. There's so much money involved, and there's so many careers involved. Like our HOA manager, the last 3 have been middle-aged, last stop in the road, and they're so afraid to lose their job that they're willing to be dishonest. All right? They're not hired for their honesty. These managers that come out and run the HOA, they're not hired for their honesty. They're hired for their loyalty. They're hired for their loyalty. And I got to throw my little Trump barb in here. If Trump ever gets in office again, everybody is going to have to take a loyalty oath to Donald Trump. Steve Bannon's already got it in the works. We're not going to hire you until you swear complete loyalty to Donald Trump in all things. Well, that's what happens with HOA managers. They're supposed to be out here servicing membership, answering questions, doing things for members. When members go in and have questions, the trouble is I blew the whistle on track day. Everybody knows it. I'm fighting them. I try to run for the board. Every time I run for the board, I make a statement how track day is out of compliance, and I'm going to bring it into compliance. But there it is. This is the exhibit that, and I'll shorten it, but I'm going to send this to Caroline this morning so she can send it to the lawyer, and the lawyer can maybe pull or pardon me. Maybe I can get a pardon, like, who gets all the pardons? Oh, yeah. Steve Bannon gets pardons. All of Trump's friends get pardons. They can be as dishonest. Oh, yeah. And the Patriots have stormed the Capitol. If you vote for Trump, he's going to release all those Patriots. All right? Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to put this on YouTube.